today's the last session on the towards abstract project. So some of you are working on the cubist style still life, some of you are working on collages, things like that. So these were some of my demos from the last couple of weeks on that. I've got all the objects that I brought in, I think, pretty much here. So if you want to use any of those, and we've also got some collage materials I can get down. I've got glue, some little these sort of lids with butt glue. So if any of you want to kind of finish that project, that's good for today. The other thing that I wanted to cover today is working plein air, sort of on-site working. So some of you came out with me yesterday, Vanessa, and who else came out? Debbie, yeah, Debbie and Vanessa came out yesterday, and Sue, yep, Sue, Vanessa and Debbie. So we had a really lovely time in Hullbridge. It was a really nice day, nice weather, really good. There's a couple more possibilities of trips if anybody's interested in June, and I might well do a July one as well. Sue was suggesting Belfairs maybe, so I might do that one in July. But in June I've got Hadley Country Park on the 6th of June, which is a Friday I think. Yep. So that's quite a nice area there. The parking is a bit expensive I'm afraid. I think it starts about £3 an hour, but if you're going for a few hours it gets a little bit cheaper proportionately. But the nice thing about there is they've got a cafe, they've got toilets, very nice and accessible. You've got nice views across the estuary, nice landscape views. So I've done quite a few trips to Hadley Castle, but I thought this might be a slightly different angle on that area. So that's around where the mountain lights park is. And then the other one I've got planned is Malton, and that is the 23rd of June, so that's a Monday, so if anybody fancies that. So if you think you might be interested, pop your names down. You don't have to absolutely commit yourself, but it's just to get a bit of an idea of whether they're likely to go ahead. I think the one that I did the other day had about a dozen or so names, and we had 8 people came along. That's just a nice sort of number, really. So that's those two, so I've got those there. Yeah, so they were my demos. I thought I'd talk a little bit about, plein air painting. The other thing I did want to say though is Anne, who comes to this group, unfortunately she's had a fall and she's broken her arm. So really sorry to hear that. And I've got a card there, so if you want to sign the card, I'll send that round to her. Yeah, so
wondered why she was here last week.
yeah, so that's one. You've seen her, yeah.
That's the second time she's fallen.
I know, I don't think, Sorry. Yeah, so I was really sorry to hear that, but I thought we'd send a card to her. Yeah, so that's that. I know also Rayleigh Art Trail is coming up soon. I think so next week I'm away, so we're not running a class next week, having a week's break. I think the Rayleigh Art Trail might start next week, and we'll see people.
It's on Monday. I know it's a bank holiday, but it actually starts as on Monday.
On Monday, is it? Right, great. Yeah.
Because of the bank holiday, they're asking if anybody's got any pictures to take in,
Yeah.
take them in, hopefully on Friday.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So they're ready for after the bank holiday.
Great, good. And you got work?
I've got work in
Great.
the Kobe coaches. It's going to be one in the Mill Hall, and I've also
Good.
got one at St Caroline's.
Great, good. So I've got a couple of people in this group. Yeah, so there's a few people from this group taking part, plus some of the morning group. So yeah, keep an eye out. The art trail will be on Monday. So working plein air, I just thought I'd show you a whole range of different things that I use. Starting from the smallest, so that would be my smallest sketchbook. I don't get any smaller than that. These were a couple of little sketches I did in Suffolk last year. And this is quite nice because it's like pocketable. If you've got big enough pockets, and they don't need to be that big for those. A little tiny watercolour box, and there's a fair few of these sort of style boxes around. Or it could be pens or ink or pencil, something like that, and just a small sketchbook. And that sort of thing is quite nice, I find, when I'm just going out for a walk, and I'm not particularly going out to sketch, but I might see something like I fancy sketching, and it's nice to have the materials available. So that I tend to use that, and maybe watercolour. I also use these. I've got these are like a brush pen. These are quite useful along with the watercolour box, because I don't need to carry pots of water and things like that. So this is basically a pen with a lid, a brush with a lid. This one's getting a bit manky. And then the water is inside the brush. So that can be quite handy for sketching, particularly if it's somewhere where I don't want to take water or spill water. So I can just kind of squeeze it a little bit to get the water out, and then just kind of add bits on there. The difficulty sometimes is like when you're changing from one colour to another, and what I tend to do then is just have a little bit of scrap paper or tissue and just squeeze out until the colour stops running and I get clear again, and then I could then change to a blue or something like that, and add a little bit of colour in there. So they're quite handy for outdoor sketching. Just clean that bit. What else? Yeah, so that's very small scale. Working a bit bigger, if I've got enough to, if I can take this back out, I'll work that size in the A4. And I tend to use the same sort of materials, or I can use pens, they're quite handy. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. This pen it's like a brush pen, and you put cartridges of ink inside it. So this is quite nice. This one's actually drying up a little bit, but these work quite nicely along with these, because I can either soften it out a little bit, or sometimes just pick up a little bit of ink on the tip of the brush. So again, this is, and get a lighter, a lighter wash in there if I want to. So that's another medium that I've explored at various times for sketching. If I want to take a sketchbook, obviously I can either take a seat, or I quite often use these tripods. So I've got these, just a camera tripod, and they come with, and then I'll just attach this board. They come with these plates, and you can either screw it to one of these metal plates, or sometimes I take the screw out in the middle and just put all the screws in and screw it to a board or a paint box. I thought I'd do, if you want, I could do a little bit of a demo outside for any of you who want to go and have a little look. I'll just do a very quick oils demo with my oils equipment. But basically, this is the tripod I use when I'm painting outdoors most of the time. It's carbon fibre, so it's nice and strong, and it's quite lightweight. It's about 1 kilo, so I tend to use that. My gear would go in this bag. So this contains this and this. Is pretty much all the equipment I take when I go up to London. So yeah, it is a bit heavy, but it's manageable. It's portable sort of thing. Would you like me to do a little bit outdoors? Yeah, should we go out and I'll just do a little bit? We'll use this and I'll set it up and just show you what's on there. Just stay here, that's fine. Yeah. I'll pause this for a minute.